Hey guys, welcome to another F1 2019 video. Today we've got the F1 2010 cars comparison. As you may or may not know, last game we've had the introduction of the 2010 RB6, I believe, and this year we've got an extra two front-running cars of the 2010 season, the Ferrari F10 and the McLaren MP4-25. So gonna do a little comparison here in case you have a classic car league with these three cars or something like that. I'm not sure if they're equal online. I don't think they are, so we just have a look here at Monza. Not really a balanced circuit, to be honest, but yeah, you can see anywhere the differences between the cars. So now we're driving the Ferrari as the first hot lap, so Delta obviously compared to the Ferrari, I believe. So yeah, going through 𝐓𝐿 2 now. It has a decent amount of downforce, really nice high speed. It's not the fastest car in either corners or top speed. Top speed is actually the McLaren, and downforce related like corners was definitely the Red Bull. So Ferrari kind of the middle of the two, but the lap time, as you will be able to see in this track, was actually the third fastest. So it wasn't the best. It was actually last by a good couple of tenths as well. So I don't really think the Ferrari is the best car on this game from the 2010 cars. As we finish the lap, it's a 21.504, and you'll be able to see after the McLaren hot lap the sector times compared to the MP4-25. So now we actually start the lap on the McLaren, and approaching Parabolica I was able to notice the downforce lacking a lot more than in the Ferrari. So yeah, it wasn't the most comfortable car in the corners, but I was very sure that it was going to translate into a high top speed as we reached the rev limiter really quickly, and actually 1 kilometer quicker in top speed compared to the Ferrari. So we gained quite a bit of time on the Delta. Of course, in the straight, braking wise was really good. I think it was a little bit better than the Ferrari, a little bit more stable on the brakes. You could brake a little bit later, but almost 2 tenths up now after another pretty long straight. Into the second chicane we lose a little bit of time because the downforce of course was a level down on the Ferrari, and through the 𝐓𝐿 as well we just try and keep as much speed as we can and not get invalid in the exit. No DRS of course in these 2010 cars. I believe 𝐾𝐆 was introduced in 2009, and 2010 there was neither of 𝐾𝐆 or DRS, but either way through the Ascari now, very easy to lose the car on the second part on the inside curb because these cars are quite light and I guess sensitive in high speed and curb. So yeah, navigated through Ascari and through Parabolica now as close to the curb as possible, carrying a lot of speed, and at the end of the lap it's a 21.2, 2.5 tenths quicker than the Ferrari. So there we go, top speed wise, braking wise better than the Ferrari. Downforce, the Ferrari was a little bit better, and as you'll be able to see from the sector times comparison, the McLaren was actually quicker in all three sectors, but a lot in the first sector and just a little bit, a fraction quicker in sector 2 and 3. And now we're gonna watch the hot lap of the RB6, which was actually the fastest out of the three. So Ferrari was third fastest, McLaren was second fastest, and the Red Bull was just a fraction quicker. But it was so difficult to nail a good lap to actually beat the McLaren, because I feel like the McLaren is actually quicker on this track, but the Red Bull lap was just so good that we beat the McLaren. So as you'll be able to see, braking really late for the first corner. This car is just amazing on the brakes, and you know, in general the 2010 cars are so pointy and light that it's just all about the braking zone, and then you just point the car to the apex wherever you want, and actually up on the first sector almost, which is quite unbelievable considering the two long straights. We just made up so much time to the first chicane that it was, yeah, really comfortable to stay ahead on the Delta. Now through the 𝐓𝐿, we knew we could take a lot of time through here. You can see we nailed the first 𝐓𝐿 just on the track limits there, and through the second 𝐓𝐿 I think I could have gone a little bit quicker there with third gear on the apex, but either way we're actually up on our Delta, just about coming into Ascari, which means that for Ascari obviously a high downforce corner, maybe the most high downforce needed corner of this track, and we gain a lot of time again. 1/10 up, exiting Ascari, and now just about on par with the Delta, coming into Parabolica and braking again just 20 meters later than the McLaren. And we're just getting so much time compared to the McLaren just in the braking zones, and that translates into a 21.20 something, I think 4. But yeah, arguably all 3 laps were unequal. The Red Bull one was definitely hooked up a lot better, as you can see through the sectors. Of course, I think it's almost impossible to beat the McLaren in the first sectors. We're just a little bit slower, and of course sector 2 and sector 3 quicker than the McLaren, which allowed us to get an overall better lap by just I think around half a tenth. So I'm gonna let you enjoy the lap on the Red Bull. I think Ferrari was just the most stable car, but not the fastest one, I think, out of the 3. I think the Red Bull, of course, downforce related, is the best. McLaren top speed. So there you go, enjoy the lap.